Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to okay. So let's talk about this first. This is Oak Bridge Farm now, no longer Comsden Farm. I don't think I've ever seen that where the maps change its name so fast. But I guess out of respect for the owners of the real Comsden Farm, and I guess the amount of people that have been showing up there to take photos of it. This is in the place where it exists in real life in the UK. Oxford and David, the maker of this map, has probably rightfully so. It makes sense, kind of out of respect. Change the name in the hopes that maybe it'll take the focus away from the real Comsden Farm, and people will stop showing up to take pictures of it. It is uncanny and absolutely cool. I think we talked about it in the first episode that you can basically go on Google Maps, look up Comsden Farm, and then see all of this this is the recreation. You'll see all of this in real life, which is super cool. So anyways, I just grabbed a quick mowing contract here. It's 9:30 in the morning. Kind of got a bit of a late start this morning because it is quite dark here in the area, especially with the trees, a lot of shade. So waited a little bit and then came over here. Old Walter, we did a contract for him in September, if you recall. He's was kind enough to allow us to mow this piece of land right here. Got about $1,000, so we're sitting with about $8,200, of which we're gonna spend a bit of that money. I really played around a lot with what to do. Like, I mean, if you recall, we started with $3,500 that my mom floated me basically because our old Pete has nothing and owes really. I mean, thankfully we had a little bit of equipment, but that's pretty much it. So I really got to make sure that we don't make any bad moves here early on. We got to make sure that we're very careful with our money. We're using the sale and really sort of planning ahead. So in that, I also just ran a bunch of tests to see if what would work and what wouldn't, because there's certain things that are popping up that I've never done before. Like there's a hoeing contract, for example, and I have never in my life purchased or used a hoe in this game. That's not happened. So I don't know what that entails, right? So what I do know though is that I have crop damage on for not only my fields but also other fields. So I ran a quick test to see, well, what happens if I... Oh, come on, don't do that. What happens if I drive my... falling over? Why are you falling over? What is going on with my mower? Anyways, so it became quite evident to me that I need to switch to some narrow tires. We've got some wide tires on the Landini here, so we're going to head over to the store right away and we're going to grab ourselves some narrow tires. I couldn't for the life of me figure out how to do a hoeing contract and not destroy the crops, because I guess the way the game's designed is typically when you're doing a contract, there's no crop destruction, right? Well, when you have crop destruction everywhere, or whatever the mod's called, activated, you now literally destroy crops everywhere you go, which is probably the more real way to do it anyways, right? Like if you drove through somebody's field just because you're doing a contract for them doesn't mean that the crops are going to live now, whereas typically they would just get destroyed. So in saying that, I couldn't find an inexpensive hoe that I could get with narrow tires. So there is the least expensive hoe in the game, I believe, is about 12 grand. Don't quote me on that, but maybe it's 8,000. Maybe it's less. Anyways, but it has wide or wider tires. So there's no, and when you lower it to do the work, it just shreds the ground. So anyways, there's a hoeing contract on field 11, which is up on the right hand side here, which I would have liked to do, but don't have a way to do that. So we're not doing that. There are no other mowing contracts right now, so we're not doing that. But I did get the heads up that there are a few fertilizing contracts in smaller fields. So on quick investigation, it looks as though we can pick up a relatively inexpensive spreader, and it just so happens that there is a bag of fertilizer for sale at the store over here. They had somebody place a big order, and unfortunately they took this one, damaged the bag a little bit, but they've measured it. It's still full 500 liters in the bag, but that damaged bag, they've put it on a deep discount. So I think we're going to actually take advantage of that. We're a little scrounge scroungers that we are. we're digging deep here to try to make things work for old Uncle Pete, wherever he is. But yeah, I think that's going to work for us. We're going to go over here and grab the spreader, and then we'll pick off a couple of the first fields and hopefully make some of our money back, and then perhaps venture out into a little bit of larger water and maybe grab one that'll be a little more painful, but I think it'll help us kind of maybe be up on the day. So I think this is how we're going to make this day work. So let's go run. I'm going to run in the store right now. And unfortunately, I had a quick look. There are no... Put my four ways on here. There. I left my lights on. Yeah, there we go. I'll leave the hazards on there so they know I'm doing something. But yeah, unfortunately, we don't have any great way to make money other than maybe scrounging a couple of these contracts. So what I want to do is we'll go attack these fertilizer contracts, hopefully get ourselves in a good position, and then maybe get some of our grass mowed. Maybe one of the fields, maybe not the hilly field right away, but we'll see how we get to. And then I know we'll have some grass bales there so we can make sure our animals continue to eat. Now, if history serves itself in any of the other maps that I'm playing, the sheep will eat the meadow grass, and the meadow grass never seems to go away. So we're going to assume that the meadow grass is going to go away. Actually, I don't even think our field's registering it as meadow grass, so maybe we do need the bales. Anyways, whatever. I'm rambling on here. I'm going to go and sort us out, and we'll be back momentarily. All right, so I just want to pop back quickly here. So here is look at that. So this bag, this 500 liter bag is normally $960 for 500 liters. So we're going to pick up 500 liters for $426. So it's basically half price. Oh, there she is. I don't see the damage. I mean, they said they repaired it, but they sort of melted the bag back together where the damage was. But anyways, I got to take their word that it's an actual 500 liters and not, and we're not losing anything. Okay, let me get the spreader. All right, so this spreader here is a $3,700 spreader. I added the $250 option for the increased capacity. So normally I believe normally it's a 1,000 liter capacity, but this is up to 1,600 or 1,800 liters. I don't anticipate being able to run the full thing with this tractor and the lack of weight. I think that if I tried to fill it up, we would probably tip over. But I know that I can put 1,000 liters into this, and I'll be really light on the steering. I won't actually tip over, which is good. So that, I think, is going to be a win for us. Let's just get this filled up. Okay, so I know this 500 liters, because I did test it, is going to get us through the first field that we're going to have to do here. So we may need to, or we will need probably, to do another run back here once we get through it. Also, I'm going to use, so now this tractor is not equipped with GPS in any way. This is the most basic of tractors, but I will be using the, and I just have to, so I'm going to use the guided, not the guided steering, like I'll do the steering, but I'm going to put the lines out there on the field. Honestly, it just be like I can't see. It's so hard to see where you've been. So if I don't put the lines out, then I'm just gonna end up wasting material. Hold on, let's look at the contracts here. I wonder if, okay, so here's the fertilizing contracts. So what do we got here? That's 0.85 of an acre. That's 1.56, 1.2. So I think I can actually do this one first with the 500 liters. I believe we'll be able to get through that. So let's accept that one first. Then we'll probably need to get some more fertilizer, and then we can come bang out these other ones. I don't know that we're going to want to attack a 12-acre field with what we got, but we might get ambitious here after these first ones. Let's see how far 500 liters goes. I think I can get this. Let's see. So we'll accept that one first. It's nice and... oh, David, yeah, I forgot about him. Let's take his contract first. Let's hope he's got the cash on him this time and we don't have to go back. Maybe he can just do the e-transfer. So I'm recording this on the day that episode 1 hit the airstream, hit the airwaves, whatever. Seems like pretty good response right out of the gate. Thanks, guys, for your support as usual. immediately the comments start coming in, which is fantastic. And I mean, this has been noted before, but you guys are champs. Like, the comment section is always supportive. People are providing suggestions in that, and then other people are thanking them because it's something that they thought about but never tried, and now they get to try something. So that's kind of what I wanted to see the whole time anyways. And here, like, I don't often say this, I don't really often say this at all in videos, but I mean, early on here in the video, if you found me and you've been watching these videos and you haven't subscribed yet, man, it would be really appreciative if you did. We're pretty close to 3,000 subscribers, which I think is awesome. Not far away at all. So early on here, if you didn't mind taking a second just to hit that subscribe button, that'd be super cool. I think 40% of the people that watch the videos are subscribed, which I don't know if that's good or bad or whatever, but seems pretty cool to me. All right, I didn't really want to have to do this, but honestly, I just think that I'd be wasting material if I didn't. So this is how we're gonna have to do this. So the other thing that I'll mention, I've got a Discord up now, a channel or whatever, a server, a channel, or whatever you call it, whatever you kids are calling it. So in the description of the channel, there's a link, where I can sort of publish any of the links that are related to this channel. That's in the description of this channel. So head on over there and join, I guess. Is that what you do? Join or subscribe or whatever you do to a Discord channel. I can't promise great things right away, but I do think that it'd be a cool place for, I mean, like, some of you have said, well, I've done, whatever, and it'd be cool if I could sort of share it with you. Yeah, that's what that's for now. That's really the reason why I set it up, because I just like to see, I don't know, it's cool to see what people make or whatever. As you can tell, I'm really into, like, the detailing side of it. So, and I really enjoy just looking at tractors and farming stuff. So if you want to share there, that'd be really cool. If you're making videos, farming simulator related videos, and you want to share the links to those, there's a self-promotion tab there, or channel, or whatever, so you can post that there. That'd be really cool, and we can all check out what you're making, or at least we can try to. It's time permitting, obviously. But yeah, that's on there. And then there's just general chat, right? So if you want to get on there and chat about something, that's cool. We can do that. I will ask, and I might say that somewhere, that we keep it respectful and on topic. Not necessarily looking to create a channel where we can debate religion and politics, because that's basically just not what we want to get into. So, but we'll, keeping it respectful and on topic. I think we're all somewhat like-minded in that we play this game and we have some fun. And I mean, if you're sitting there willing to spend an hour of your time to watch me play a video game, then we're probably cool to get on there and chat about stuff too. So that's that would be fantastic. Okay, so we just did 1.5 acres. And we spent about 200 liters of fertilizer. So I think we can squeak out one more field here. Let's go see who needed help. All right, by all rights, we should be able to take Walter up on his offer of fertilizing his field. And he's 1.2 acres. So if we just spent 200 liters doing 1.5 acres, then we should be able to handle this other contract here. I don't know whether we'll have enough to do the smaller one. We may have to go get more fertilizer, but let's see. Where did it go? All right, and we just got the $1,400 e-transfer from our buddy David there, who also has another contract. He's the one that has a smaller field that we'll try to get to after. So yeah, anyways, in regards to Discord, please come on board. I don't know what the terminology is, or where that can take us. I know there's lots of cool things that people do with Discord. Whatever. Eventually, what I would just love to do would be to get into I'd rent a server and do some kind of community multiplayer. Perhaps, if we kind of build out an inexpensive option in channel membership, we can open that up to, like, channel members or whatever. I have no idea. But it'd be fun to play with a bunch of people. There's a map that just came out. I can't remember the name of it, but it has, like, I don't know how many fields. It has, doesn't have 18 pre-built fields or farms or something like that. It has, like, a ridiculous number. So, like, I mean, even if you had an 8 or 10 person server, I think there's enough room there that, everybody can sort of carve out their own little piece of the world and, we could sort of see what happens there. I think it would be kind of neat. But so then Discord, I believe, becomes relevant because you can now create chat and voice chat or whatever like that kind of stuff. So anyway, that's definitely the hope. I do in all of this have 2 boys, single father, motocross season. Well, if you looked outside, you'd think we're never going to have motocross season here again, but summertime becomes very difficult to do this kind of stuff. So, we'll have to see what happens there. But anyways, yeah, the intention is to have some fun and hopefully, interact with some people and, whatever. This is better than watching TV. I'll tell you that much. Something I did watch actually before I hopped on here, and actually it delayed me. I should have started this probably an hour beforehand, and I was everything I could just to shut it off so I could get going here. I just went off. I know I just didn't follow the lines there, but that might have just screwed me for my fertilizer usage. But let's see how we go here. I'm not one to follow direction, obviously. Yeah, so I was watching. I don't know if you follow or know who Cletus McFarland is, but man, my oldest kid got me onto him a long time ago when he was building out his Corvette and buying Mountain Dew in the drive-thru and delivering it to people or trying to give it away in his drag Corvette. Anyways, kind of a fun guy. Seems like a super decent guy, anyways. But he's got a great YouTube channel where he does a lot with racing. Whatever. So he, I guess that's kind of an understatement. He does a lot of stuff, but I just somehow on my YouTube feed it popped up. Dale Earnhardt Jr. has a podcast and a YouTube channel, and he had Cletus on there because over the last weekend he raced his first ARCA Series race, which is kind of, I guess, the step below full NASCAR, I believe. I'm not much of a follower, so I probably, if I'm butchering the explanation, I apologize, but I got listening to those 2 guys talking about all kinds of stuff. I would definitely, I don't know, maybe you got to be into motorsports or whatever to appreciate what they're talking about. But just 2 really seem like 2 really cool guys just talking about some really neat stuff. So I don't know how you can go wrong there. But yeah, I would recommend going to watch that episode. Cletus McFarland on the Dale Earnhardt Jr. podcast was kind of a cool match made in automotive heaven, maybe. I don't know, but. All right, so we're going to head over here to the last contract, I believe is on the end here. We'll go pop in the yard, and I know it's on one of these fields. We'll pop in the yard, and then we'll see which one, and we'll get that accepted and make sure we're collecting our money there from, who was that last one, Walter? I think the next one here is going to be David. So I think, so what's our investment here? We spent like $4,000, I guess, right? Between the spreader and the fertilizer. Are we going to make this 500 liters go the entire distance? All right, we got our $1,100 from Walter. This one's actually Ben's field. My mistake. All right, so let's see if we can, let's be very, very careful here. I think I pressed the button too often, too early most of the time, and then that ends up costing us some material, I think. But so this would be, it was explained to me a long time ago by the great Gaming Joy, who that not all spreaders are created equal, and some of them are programmed to disperse at a higher rate. Some of them are just made to sip the material, and you kind of, I don't know how you tell the difference, to be honest with you, so you just kind of have to find one you like and go for it. I have never, that I can recall, used this one. So this is, I think we're getting lucky here because I'm not using a lot of material, and we're getting the job done. So, I mean, we're going to bang out 3 fields here. What was that, 2.7, and this one's like, I'd say a little over 3 acres. We're gonna knock out. Oh shit! And we're gonna do it all with 500 liters of fertilizer. Which, you grab the wrong spreader, and that ain't gonna be. That's not what's gonna happen, right? Come on. All right, we got 77 liters to rip up the middle here, and hopefully get the last little bit. A lot of good input after the first episode on how to, how to artificially age, wear, and dirtify a vehicle. So I appreciate everybody jumping in to give me that kind of input. I did, I think, express a little bit of frustration not being able to do that when we started this series, because ideally Uncle Pete would have had sort of old dirty equipment that had no paint on it, but we sort of had to kind of imagine that with our equipment, because I couldn't figure out how to age that. So between the dev controls and the and editing the XML, a lot of good input there. I've still not been able to necessarily figure it out, so I'm not super adept when it comes to things like that. I have played around and can do the basics, but anyways, I will continue trying that. Likely what'll happen is on the series after this, where we're going to start with a bunch of old crappy equipment as well, I'm sure, will be the one that will be the one where we can age everything. But maybe by then we'll have the fantastic easy dev controls available, and we can utilize those instead. So here, let's pop over here. So luckily those were all grass fields for fertilization. All right, so that little piece of equipment fits really well on our farm, and that thing worked a treat, as they say. All right, let me collect my money. All right, thank you, Ben. So we spent a little over $4,000. We've made 25. I'd say we made a little over $3,000 so far from the contracts, and now I got to kind of decide, are we going to try to tackle that bigger one, and can we do it? So let's just look at quickly here. Do we have any opportunity, and do these guys need anything? So we are showing some meadow grass, 2,500 liters, so that's good. They have 1,500 liters left of those original scraggly hay bales that we had on the trailer. So that's good, and they're sipping their water. So we'll just let these fuzzy little beasts continue their day. We got 144 liters of wool sitting right there. Thank you guys, girls, whatever. They do look pretty fluffy, don't they? Oh, they're liking the tree too. You guys just chilling here under the tree. That's cool. Anyways, this kind of looks exactly like I had hoped it would. That doesn't always happen in the game. All right, so now it's time for everybody's favorite portion of the video, where I go and do some math. All right, so we said we basically... hold on. Wait, what is happening here? Did we not just do these contracts? We literally just did all 3 of these contracts. And actually... No, we didn't do this middle field, so that's a new contract. Walter, you could have let me know while I was over there. Like, thanks. That one, we just fertilized. But Walter wants to pay us to fertilize it again? And this one, David just paid us to fertilize. Okay, that's kind of weird. Maybe there's something odd going on. I don't know. I mean, maybe it's a second stage of fertilization they're looking for. But then that would mean I couldn't use the same... I'd have to use slurry or manure, would I not? Anyways, let's not... think about that. We could potentially pick this one up here now. I don't know that I'd have enough fertilizer to do it, but let's look up here and just see. So this thing is 12 acres. So if what did I say? We did about 3 acres with 500. So that's 12 acres. So assuming we're going to need 4 times that. So 2,000 liters of fertilizer, roughly, let's say approximately, ish. And that's going to, I got to check the store first just to see. No, there won't be any more fertilizer. I know there's no fertilizer up there. So I'd be looking at 1,000-liter bags. So we're going to be about $3,600 for 2,000 liters of fertilizer, but we're going to make $11,000. So 8. So that's going to put us back up into the teens for money. That's good news. So, okay, let's tackle that. Let's buy... I mean, we're going to have to go back to the store anyway, so let's buy 1 bag for now. $10.57. So as much as I'd like to stop maybe and have a bite to eat, I think we're going to keep on rolling here. So what do I have? I have 59 liters in there already, so that's... Oh, we got to look... That's a grass field, right? All right, it's definitely a grass field, so we don't have to get the skinnies on. Or buy the skinnies. So it would cost us... Best I can tell, there's a couple tire brands that offer skinny tires for this tractor. And it would run us about $1,000. So if we did need to do that, we could. Especially as the day goes on here, we're going to obviously be up. Like, I think we'll be... So what did I say? We're going to spend about $3,600. So we spent $1,900. So basically we spent $2,000 already. So we'll spend another $2,000. We'll get down to like $3,400. It's called $3,500, and then we're gonna add $11 or $12,000, 11 grand I think is what the contract pays. So that 11,000 is gonna get us close to $15,000 anyways, which is good. And then we'll have to see what about those little, you know, if we got a little bit of material left over and we want to squeak out that $1,600 contract, then we would do that, and that'd probably be a good chunk of contracts for the day. It'd be easy to just like fall into a life of contracts and do them nonstop, but I don't want to do that. I would like to get some grass mowed on our own land there. You know, that'd be good. Maybe if we have a little bit of fertilizer left over, we'll check to see. Actually, I don't even know if our land, I don't think those are actual proper fields. They might just be map grass. So which would mean at some point we may want to plow them up and plant them proper and get them fertilized and everything. But for now, we'll just take what we can get. I mean, if we can get a decent number of grass bales off there, we could sell some. They're not really worth much, but obviously they're worth something. All right, I think it's I grabbed the fertilizer. I think it's the next field up here on the left is where we're going. A large grass field that needs fertilization. That is not it. Yeah, that looks like a big grass field. Oh man. We're definitely going to want some help with those lines in this one. It's kind of a shame to have to use that, but it's just really hard to judge like the spread and everything. And I mean, I'm brutal for wasting material when I don't use those lines. It's kind of one of those things where it's like, well, you know what, if you got them, you might as well use them. Oh my god, I just hit a branch. I got out of the way for that car. They didn't even say thank you, and I hit a branch. I must have put a dent in the old A-pillars there. Oh wow, okay, well, you know what? I mean, a field like this is intimidating, but we're fertilizing, so hopefully we do okay here. So let me get these lines. All right, so I guess we'll do the headland, and then we'll go do the up and downs. So I'm gonna get a running start at this time. All right, let's see what we got here. Oh yeah, I mean, that's a good-sized grass field. Geez, it'd be nice at some point if we have the ability to make silage to grab a field like this and, make it ours, because we could make some decent money off of something like this. Obviously, we're going to need bigger equipment. I mean, you wouldn't want to necessarily use the mower we have and attempt to do this this field, because that would just be horrible. I mean, Farming Simulator is fun, and it's fun to do some of the activities and stuff, but I don't think it's much fun when you have to do something like the same thing for 2 of your actual real-life hours. I can think of so many other things I'd like to do with 2 hours of my life than run around in circles. Or squares, or whatever the shape of the field is, but... That being said, I have been known to put in some stupid amounts of time to get things done, specifically when it comes to forestry and the hundreds of thousands of liters of wood chips and all the rest of the stuff. What do we have? I think on Maz, which was one of the last series that just died, unfortunately, with no proper ending from FS22. I mean, I was over 1 million liters of wood chips at one point there, I think, if I can remember correctly. I almost hated saying the word wood chips on that series because it just became so redundant. It was like over and over and over again. That's all I ever did. But it's hard in the game because you find these activities that are lucrative and kind of get stuck. I'm kind of looking, as I'm talking here, I'm kind of looking at that field next to us. I'm wondering how I get my hands on that. So that's the valley that runs all the way up to my Uncle Pete's farm. It runs all the way up there. So it'd be nice to get him a chunk of that valley before we're done, and give him a little bit more to create a little bit more work for him. Maybe he won't like that. I don't know. How are we doing? We've used. So hopefully we didn't miscalculate. No, that's fine. I was gonna say we've used a substantial amount of our fertilizer already, but we had 1,000 liters, so I guess kind of no. We're still okay. Looks like maybe we by the time we're done this headland, we might be about 3/4 of the way through or sorry, a quarter of the way through the bag, which would be awesome if that's the case. The hard part, I think, is going to be remembering where we left off here. How am I supposed to remember that? We'll have to count the we'll have to count the lines to figure out what we're coming back to. And we'll see how many of these back and forths we get before we run out, and then we'll just have to count. I wish I could like leave the tractor here and go get the fertilizer, but then I need the tractor to get the fertilizer. And we don't have, if I had loader arms on this, then we could leave the spreader so we'd know exactly where we left off, and then use the loader arms to go get the fertilizer bag. But I don't have loader arms, and I'm gonna watch for some arms on sale. I think these are quickie mounts, if I remember correctly, and we need whatever the smallest quickie arms are for this tractor to be able to handle it. But I think I'd like to find some on sale. Otherwise, they're like $7,500, and that is a lot of money. Go, 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 pick up speed. Oh, I didn't get a run at that one. So the hard part here is going to be, well, I guess I can use the mini map, right? I was going to say the hard part is going to be knowing what we've done and what we haven't done. Well, I guess that's true, right? So when I do come back from the store after we get the next kind of load to finish this off, I can just look at the mini map, and that'll also help me figure out where we left off. So that's not too much of a worry then. I'm seeing lots of people starting to post content on Palanier. It's hard in this. It's hard in this business. You want to play everything, and when you see people starting to play the map that you really want to play also, but you don't have the capacity to make content around it. Anyways, it's difficult to see, but it's also helping me determine how I want to play that map when we get a chance to play it. And I say when, I definitely want to play it, and likely it'll be after this one. But I have a pretty good idea now after watching a lot of people play what I want to do. Actually, I shouldn't say that. I haven't watched a lot of people, but I've kind of taken a taste of what they've posted to get an idea of where they're setting up shop. Sure would be cool if my Uncle Pete was somewhere over in France right now, making the connections we need in order to pick that farm up. Sure would be cool. I'm hesitant to look at the mini-map because I'm thinking I'm probably doing a bad job here, but I guess we'll find out soon enough. Yeah, so we're 3/4 of the way through the bag right now. I'd say we're about halfway through the field, maybe, so my calculations might have been off. This bag might go farther than we thought. Now I'm lumping you guys into it. This might go farther than I thought. Yeah, that's a great field, though. Like, it'd be harvester friendly. It's quite flat. It's worker friendly. It's a decent shape. Maybe at some point this will have to be part of Pete's life. I don't know how that'll ever happen, though, to be honest with you, because I don't know what's more important. I know which one the bank will say is more important. So, is aggressively paying down, attacking that loan balance important? I'm sure Pete would appreciate us getting some of his loan paid off. Or is, farm expansion, so that way Pete, when he gets back, can come back with less of a burden and be able to expand the farm himself. I don't know. I'm thinking a balance, right, where we manage to expand a little bit and pay off a little bit, but we'll see. It almost feels like you have to do one or the other. Really get that loan paid down, and then once it's paid down, expand, or expand and then start making more money so that way you can pay it off. I mean, I guess in reality, if you had that choice, probably, and the bank was okay and was lenient with the terms or whatever, probably expanding first so you have the ability to make more would be smarter. You just have to make good decisions, and obviously nothing can fail because then you'll be in trouble. But yeah, that'd probably be the better way to do it. Oh yeah, so I'm looking at the counter up there, and it's barely moving. We just clicked. We've been 85% forever, 86. So it's not moving up fast. Yeah, we're gonna have to reload here, folks. I'm doing a lot of weaving and talking. Yeah, like if I just look where we are, it looks like we're pretty close to being done. Almost 90%. I don't know. I don't think we're gonna get another pass here. This is, yeah, look, we're down to 20 liters. We got to refill. I'm wondering if I just get a 500 liter bag and not spend the full money. Although we can. All right, let's look at the mini map. All right, so that's actually really helpful. So we know exactly where we should start, which is good. I can see a little bit that we missed up here, and we probably missed a little bit around the edges, but that's kind of all we have left. So I think if we get a 500 liter bag, that'll save us some money. Plus, let's take a look here. Yeah, we have these weird mystery contracts. This one, that 500 liter bag probably lets us finish the contract we're doing right now, and probably gets us down into field farm 42 for to keep Walter happy down there. Yeah, I think that's the way to do it. So I could turn off the lines here, but I think I want to leave them on so we can kind of. I'd just be afraid that they'd reset themselves into some new weird setup, and then we'd come back and have a hard time getting ourselves back in line. So hang tight there. Let me go grab this fertilizer, and I mean, if nothing else pops up, I'll see you back on the field of play, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? All right. So we got ourselves another 500 liters. Cost me $960. But that's going to be enough to get this field done, which is good. And then we'll be able to go get that other field of Walters done. And that should be good. So that's fantastic. And it'll be just in time, I think, to go pop into the trailer for lunch. Have ourselves a bite to eat. And then we can start mowing. Do a little bit of work around the farm, you know. I haven't really been able to do anything around our own farm. Our own farm. Pete's old farm. Other than bring some animals home. That's still one of the funniest things I think I've seen is those sheep in that carrier. I really want to put a cow in one, so maybe we'll get an opportunity at some point to put a small cow building up. Maybe it's not in this series, but maybe at some point we can. All right, so that is acceptable in the eyes of the contract provider. So let's just pop over here. Yeah, look at that. It's a cool little field down there, too. I like this area a lot. Like, look at this. This is really cool. You've probably all... I mean, everybody's probably played this map. So, like, this is all new to me. I've not played this map. So, okay, so let me go and collect the money for that contract. Okay, got the notification that the $11,500 has hit the bank, and there you go, my math. Oh, you know what? My math is good because I was calculating a full extra a second 1,000 liter bag of fertilizer, but we got a 500 liter bag. That's why we're at we should be at about 15,000, which I think is what I was originally saying. Yeah, so then we'll go do this last one for Walter. That pays about $600, $680 I think is what it is, which everything helps obviously. And then and then we'll probably mow this field right here, and then we'll turn that into bales. Now we're gonna have to hand bomb those bales onto our little tiny bale cart there, but that's okay. We'll probably we can't even fire a lot into the sheep enclosure there because it only holds, I think, 3,000 liters of food. So we're going to be handling bales quite a bit. We may leave them, if I don't need the trailer for anything right away, then I guess that would have helped as I'm like talking and thinking here, but I probably could have left if really push comes to shove, I could have left the fertilizer spreader in the field to mark where I'd left off in that last contract, and then I could have gone and get the trailer and just put the fertilizer bag on the trailer, but then I would have to rely on the shop having a forklift, but the shop doesn't have a forklift that I can use. I saw one there, but they won't let me use it. Much like everybody in this town, nobody's letting me use anything. A couple good suggestions. One suggestion about that if you were in an area like this and after doing 4 or 5 contracts for somebody, they may begin to be open to borrow or lending you their equipment. And yes, that does make sense that, if I did like 6 or 7 contracts and let's say I mowed, 30 or 40 acres for Walter there, eventually you'd think that with my track record, he would be inclined to loan me his equipment. But I think what I'm going to do in this series here is I'm going to try to refrain from borrowing equipment, and we'll just basically use our own for the year. Just to kind of add that extra bit of a challenge. I don't want to provide any benefits to myself as far as, you know, making things less difficult for any reason. I'd like to just kind of plug away and do some real kind of low scale farming activities while we're on the map. But that doesn't mean don't make suggestions. Keep those suggestions coming. No suggestion's a bad suggestion. And you know what? I mean, things that we're talking about now, even if they don't end up on this series, all that stuff gets stored and may or may not end up in a future series of some kind. That's the best thing about this game, is your gameplay sort of evolves and changes. It is also the one thing I worry about, because, you know, if you get good or comfortable doing a certain thing, then the chances that you're going to want to do that same thing every time you set up a playthrough are pretty good. But so then it's just up to you to control yourself and come up with new ideas or new ways to do things. Okay, so I'm going to get the spreader. So there's no real cover on the spreader, so I'm going to get it into the barn, so it's tucked out of the way just in case we have any issues. I'm going to run in for 12:23. I'm going to run in for a bite to eat. Maybe a grilled cheese and some tomato soup. It's 18 degrees Celsius out. Yeah, that seems like a reasonable meal to have, you know, when it's like that. And then I'll collect the money from Walter. And then we're going to grab... you know what, I guess I'll just leave this in here for now, because we're going to need the mower anyways. Whatever, let's put the mower on now and we'll just bring it over there. You know, I gotta make things so complicated. Okay, mower on. Alright, so we're not really going to be leaving the yard, so we might as well shut that. Like I said, I'm going to go grab some food, collect some money, and we will be back at her. Man, I'm just looking out over this yard here, realizing just how good Uncle Pete's got it. I mean, this is a nice little slice of heaven he's got here. I mean, yeah, okay, this is gross. And his dirt pile there, his garbage is kind of nasty. I mean, I wouldn't even say this is not gross. That's kind of nice inside. Just weathered, obviously. But yeah, the little yard here, he's got a nice little area he lives in. Everybody seems to like him too. I haven't met the people that don't like him, i.e. probably the people he owes money to, but we'll figure that out as we go, I guess. But yeah, I had finished up my grilled cheese and tomato soup, and we're heading out. Well, I, of course, had a little nap, and let's go mow some grass now. So I had a look. I actually didn't realize, but I have it's a Gaming Joy mod, Contract Boost. I didn't realize that I actually had it installed. Normally, I wouldn't necessarily run with something that boosts the performance, i.e. the pay, but so it is actually paying 1.5. It's at a factor of 1.5, which I'm guessing that would mean that I'm getting paid more than what the normal pay amount is, which whatever. I kind of just debated with myself on that fact. And have decided that we're going to continue running at that rate with no shame. The other thing that it does is it allows us to pick up certain material from some contracts. So we'll have to give that a thought as we go forward. But yeah, it may be also what's leading the contracts to immediately repopulate, because it seems like there might be a bit of a contract volume multiplier built into the mod. So maybe what it's doing is it's not finding anything else that it can feed into the mod, so it's just giving me the same contract over again. I don't even know, is that a thing, or I have no idea, but I'm sure one of you guys will have probably already commented by the time we get to this point in the video why those contracts are showing up like that. It's always wet down here, which I'm not complaining. I think that actually looks pretty cool, but you can see the water in the grass. I like that quite a bit. And you see more stuff like that. Even the mud looks wet over here. But actually, I wonder if we're kind of getting stuck a little bit. But yeah, I like to see more stuff like that. mud puddles and standing water and that kind of stuff. I mean, that area there could have a bit of a natural spring, and it just never dries. I know that we could fill up there, actually, which is kind of funny. I can pull up to the roadway there, the laneway, and hit fill on the water container, and it'll fill. We'll go into the pond, I think, and it seems a little more reasonable than filling up in your driveway, but it's just kind of one of those funny quirks there. It's a source. It's a water source. Actually, no, we're not going to the pond. We have a pump or whatever, a well. So we'll see what kind of pain this piece of land creates for us. We're going to plow it up here, and then we'll have to grab our little tiny windrow and get everything put into rows, and see what we get for bales. But it's like a lot of little manual labor there, I think, which is cool because we don't really have anywhere else to be. Alright, I'd say we got a few more passes here if I don't get stuck. This has worked out to be a pretty smooth job. The only concern I have now is what it's going to be like to run the... so is it... What do they call it? Some people call it... Is it the rake? Is that what another name for the windrow? Where you rake everything into lines? Anyways, that's going to be interesting because we have quite a small one, and then I don't know, the hill and everything. I don't know what to expect, to be honest with you, but we are about to find out. So let's get this down and put it back. Oh my god, back into this yard. Yeah, that thing just wants to fall over now every time. There it is. There's our windrow. So I think this pushes everything to the side of that little flap that I just folded out there. So if we want to push all the grass to the middle, we probably want to go counterclockwise. I think this might be one of these situations where we want to take two rows and push them into one. So basically you go around one direction, like the K-pop band. Then you get inside of that, and then you push around the other direction, feeding it back into the initial row, and then you end up with less rows to have to go and chase. So we'll do a headland here first, and then we'll just try to go back and forth. I think I'd like to try to keep the rows going, sort of back and forth across the hill, so we don't have to deal with coming up the hill with the baler. I don't know what it's going to be like, to be honest with you. It can't be that bad because it's very small, but still, there's going to be some weight there. Yeah, so now if we turn around, we keep that black blocker there basically on the existing row, so we know that that's where the grass will stop. Now we can make kind of a double row, and really lessen the amount of rows we're going to have to chase around here. So this thing works great. I mean, if you don't mind the smaller size, the smaller working width, then yeah, I mean, we're cruising along here. Super easy to use. I'm not getting this thing caught on fences and stuff. If you have small equipment, this is the kind of stuff you need. I'm cruising around back and forth here quite smoothly and fantastically, if I might add. This is working so well. And here's what I meant about trying to go back and forth across this field here, although we got a big hill there. I don't know what the baler is going to be like, but I'm thinking that if for whatever reason we find there's a couple harvesters that aren't very expensive. And if for whatever reason, I guess what I'm sort of thinking, it would be kind of cool if we could turn this field into some type of crop and farm it. Because if we did have a harvester, then we could pick up harvesting contracts. There'll be a number of them available, and even if we just have a little harvester, we could still go and do the work. We just need a trailer to cart the material and a harvester, and then we could help people out. But we could potentially even set up Uncle Pete with this field, throw canola in it or something that's manageable, but make some money, and then you could kind of work on that, because I think the grass that we have behind our shed is going to be more than enough to feed the sheep. That is, unless Pete wants to get into bigger, wants some more exposure when it comes to sheep and build out his flock, but he'd need some more land in order to be able to do that, because I don't think you fit many more where the existing ones are, at least ethically, right? But we still don't know where Pete is, so maybe ethics aren't an issue. But yeah, this would be kind of cool. It would look cool too if it was I think canola, I think sunflowers or something, but then you're pretty limited with the header. You don't want to have to get a bunch of headers, so maybe you just stick to grains. I guess you kind of have to see what's in the area first. What are farmers planting? Do they plant that often, whatever? But yeah, that's worked good. So, and then is this company Sepp Knusel? Are they still in business? And do they make stuff like this still? These really cool old implements? Where'd they get the name for that company? Is that their last names? Maybe it was a couple buddies that got together to start the company? Alright, mission accomplished. Put that thing up, whatever that's for. The guide, sorry, whatever that's for. The thing you were just using. And we're starting to run low on fuel, and we gotta get this thing serviced. That's a bit concerning. Be nice to put a fuel tank here on the property for Uncle Pete. The store and gas station's quite a bit of ways. I think that's where the only gas station in the area, but maybe I'm wrong. Alright, it's bale time. So there was it must have been FS22. There was a really cool attachment for these type of balers that shot the bales right onto a bale cart, and then you'd have somebody on the cart, and then they could actually stack the bales for you. But oh yeah, we're just going to be making rows and rows of little tiny bales. Oh well, you know what? We don't have to get loader arms right away, which is a bonus, so just picking these things up is not going to be too much fun. Oh yeah. So I think we said that each one of these carries about 600 liters, where there's big bales that are like, what, 6 and 8 and 10,000 liters. I mean, the thing is, we kind of knew this would be a little rough when we started, so can't be too surprised that this baler is going to really make our lives challenging. Yeah, we're already lining the field with bales, and we haven't even got around the headland yet. Do I have the counter on? I do, yeah. So currently at that point when I had just asked that question, we made 12 bales. It's got a pretty reasonable pickup width as far as the baler there. I don't have to be like right. I'm already running over bales. I don't have to be right tight on the row, and I can still get it. Okay, so what do you think the grand total is going to be? Oh, as I miss... Oh my god. There's a good way to finish there. I just missed the last chunk of grass. Let's get the last chunk of grass, and then we'll figure out what that's going to be. Okay, so I didn't miss anything. Maybe a tiny bit down here that I missed. Let's go check that, and then we'll see what the grand total is. I'll tell you how, it's a bunch. Come on, stop running over it. The cool thing is, if I do run into any problems, there's been a couple... Oh wait, did I raise this thing? There's a couple spots where I ran into problems where I ran over a bale and it kind of got jammed, so I was able to just jump out and pull the bale out because they're light. Okay, so it's 48 bales. Ooh, let's get this baler through here if we can. I feel like I'm dragging it. Maybe I lowered it by accident. Let's get ourselves turned around and grab this bale trailer here. So, I wonder how many we can fit on this trailer. I bet we can fit a lot of them on this trailer, but I'm going to head up to the top here. We'll start up here. And actually, before we do anything, so these are 600 liters, and I think we had room for a little bit here. So let's pick up a bale. Yeah, 81 kilograms. Oh, cannot run with those. Which makes sense. Well, let's hand bomb a couple of these into the enclosure here. So what do they need? I can fit another one and a bit, so we'll bring 2 more over here, and then the rest can go on the trailer. Or I guess we could take a number of these ones that are close. Hard to get a grip on these things. But yeah, we could take a number of them that are close, and we could stack a few here anyway, so it sort of auto feeds. That one's just going to get ingested. There it is. So I think you can probably tell what the next little while of my life is going to be. Well, let's do this. Let's get these few bales. We'll get these bales over here, and then maybe before I start loading them onto the trailer, we can have a quick look at the store and just see if there's anything interesting. We don't need anything right now, I don't think. I mean, sure, it'd be great to have a larger mower. I think our mower is like a 2.5 meter working width, so to have something that would be like, you know, well, even 5 meters would get us double the amount of working. Would get us double the amount of coverage. The thing is, though, I don't know, you know, how much mowing is still going to need to be done in the season. Like, we likely just baled enough to feed our animals for the winter, is my guess. We should probably take a little bit of this money and reinvest it maybe in another couple loads of sheep. What do you think? Should we grab? Maybe we should grab a few more, whatever. I mean, with $16,000, we're not obviously not getting rich at this rate. But you know, if we grabbed a couple more sheep, and then maybe if there was some type of equipment there that helped us, you know, build up our portfolio to be able to do more jobs, that might be good. All right, let's look in the store here quickly just before the shop closes in case there's something interesting. All right, that's not something we need, nor could we even dream of pulling it. That is quite literally what we have now, but the interesting thing about this is if we did end up with a... Yeah, it's almost 1,600 liters. If we ended up with a harvester, you know, we could use something like this to move the material, but honestly, we're not there yet. Yeah, I mean, first of all, I think we're going to be probably calling it a day here as far as we're concerned, i.e. Myself and yourselves. I'm going to just continue stacking this trailer here. Oh, I'm doing a poor job at it. We'll keep an eye out. I will 100% not be doing any more contracts in this game day. I am set to 2 days per month. In the off chance that you know, early on here we had some stuff we wanted to accomplish inside a certain month before it disappeared. I may or may not come back in this month. We may grab that one of those bigger contracts and just suffer through it. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, it's not going to get there, so we'll just put this in a better position. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. Anyways, I think we've got a pretty decent day 2. We're leaving with more money than we had when we started. We have a new piece of equipment, which means new opportunities for us in fertilizing contracts. We are gaining favor in the community in that people will continue to ask us to do their work and pay us, which is nice. And we got this field mowed up, so we're gonna have a bunch of food sort of stockpiled for our sheep. So I think that's a winning day right there when you're a small farmer on in the Oak Bridge farm community, i.e. Commons Farms. So yeah, we'll leave it right there. So keep the comments coming, guys. If there's anything that you saw that was weird, or you had an answer to, and I'm thinking it's the contract enhancer that's maybe putting those mods or the contracts back in the menu as soon as we've done them. But anyways, if you got another answer for that, let me know. And on that note, I will bid you a farewell as I continue this manual labor into the evening. Hopefully not too late, because I do want to get off the fields and relax for a bit here. So okay, thanks so much, guys. Take it easy, and I will see you later.